What if the way you're living your faith could be pushing God's plan for love out of your life? Shocking, right? Today, we're diving into a critical message inspired by Pope Leo XIV's warnings. 5 dangerous mistakes Catholics make that undermine the sacred covenant of marriage. Marriage isn't just a contract. It's God's design for love, life, and eternity. Yet, too many of us are falling into traps that weaken this holy bond, risking our souls and our families. This isn't about judgment. It's about waking up to the truth and living your Catholic faith with courage. From neglecting prayer to misunderstanding the sacraments, these mistakes are more common than you think. Stick with me to uncover these pitfalls and learn how to protect the sanctity of marriage in your life. You won't want to miss this. Now, let's get to the first mistake: failing to pray for your marriage or future spouse. Prayer is the heartbeat of our faith. But how often do you specifically pray for the sacrament of marriage? Whether you're married, single, or discerning, skipping this prayer leaves you vulnerable. Pope Leo XIV reportedly said, "A marriage without prayer is like a house without a foundation. It crumbles under pressure." Take Sarah, a young woman who prayed the rosary daily for her future husband. She found clarity and met a man who shared her faith. Try this. Dedicate 1 decade of the rosary each day to your marriage or vocation. Ask Mary, the Mother of God, to guide you. This small act can align your heart with God's plan, strengthening your resolve to live His truth. Let's move to the second mistake: treating marriage as a human contract instead of a divine covenant. So many Catholics fall into this trap, thinking marriage is just a legal agreement or a romantic choice. But God designed marriage as a sacred bond between one man and one woman, reflecting Christ's love for His church. When you view it as something changeable, you risk losing its eternal purpose. Scripture tells us, "What God has joined together, let no one separate." Matthew 19:6. This isn't just poetry, it's a divine command. Imagine a couple, Mark and Lisa, who treated their marriage casually, prioritizing careers over their vows. They drifted apart until they recommitted to God's design through prayer and the Eucharist. To avoid this mistake, study the Catechism on Marriage, section 1601 onward, and live it out. Attend Mass together, pray as a couple, and honor the sacrament's sacredness. This keeps your marriage rooted in God's truth. Now, let's talk about the third mistake: neglecting the Eucharist's power in strengthening marriage. The Eucharist is Christ Himself, and receiving it worthily can transform your relationships. Yet, many Catholics approach communion distracted or unprepared, missing its grace for their marriage. Pope Leo XIII once warned, "The Eucharist is the lifeblood of a Christian marriage. Ignore it, and your bond weakens." Before Mass, examine your conscience and confess any serious sins. A couple named Paul and Anna were struggling with constant arguments. They started receiving the Eucharist together with reverence, and their love grew stronger. Try this. Before communion, offer a prayer for your spouse or future spouse, asking Jesus to unite you in His love. Make the Eucharist the center of your marriage. It's a direct line to God's grace. The fourth mistake is huge: ignoring the Church's teachings on marriage in daily life. The world bombards us with ideas that marriage is flexible, that love can mean anything, or that commitment is optional. But as Catholics, we're called to uphold God's design: one man, one woman, united for life and open to children. Rejecting this invites confusion, as Pope Leo XIV reportedly said, "To deny God's plan for marriage is to deny His love in your life." Look at John, who once followed society's views on relationships, chasing fleeting pleasures. He felt empty until he embraced the church's teachings, finding peace in a committed, faith-filled relationship. To avoid this, read the Catechism or papal encyclicals like Humanae Vitae. Live counterculturally. Say no to contraception, cohabitation, or anything that distorts God's plan. Your fidelity strengthens not just your soul, but society itself. Next up, the fifth mistake: failing to seek the intercession of Mary and the saints for your marriage. The Blessed Virgin Mary, Saint Joseph, and saints like Rita of Cassia are powerful allies for couples, yet many Catholics overlook them. Mary, as the perfect model of obedience to God, can guide you to live your vocation faithfully. Pope Leo XIV emphasized, "Mary is the guardian of every Christian marriage. Call on her." Consider Emily, who was facing marital struggles. She started praying the Rosary daily, asking Mary's intercession, and noticed her husband became more open to faith. Try wearing a miraculous medal or praying the Memorare for your marriage. Ask Saint Joseph to protect your family. These holy intercessors are ready to help. Don't leave their grace on the table. Another critical mistake is not guarding your marriage against spiritual warfare. The devil hates marriage because it mirrors Christ's love for the Church. Temptations like infidelity, anger, or doubt are real attacks on your soul and your bond. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness." Pope Leo XIV reportedly urged, "Arm your marriage with spiritual weapons, or it will falter." A couple, David and Claire, faced constant tension until they started blessing their home with holy water and praying Psalm 91 together. Peace returned. Use sacramentals like the St. Benedict medal, pray daily, and confess regularly to stay strong. Satan's tactics are subtle, but God's grace is stronger. Equip yourself for the fight. Let's not forget the mistake of failing to educate yourself and others about marriage's true meaning. As Catholics, we're called to be witnesses to God's truth, but many shy away from defending marriage in conversations or public life. This silence lets error spread. Pope Leo XIV forewarned, "If you don't proclaim God's plan for marriage, the world will drown it out." Think of Teresa, who hesitated to share her faith at work. One day, she spoke up about the beauty of Catholic marriage, and a co-worker reconsidered cohabitation. Start small. Share a Catholic article on social media. Join a parish marriage ministry. Or talk to your kids about God's design. Your witness can plant seeds of truth in a confused world. One more mistake to avoid: not preparing for or supporting marriage as a lifelong vocation. Whether you're single, engaged, or married, treating marriage as a casual choice rather than a divine calling is a spiritual misstep. Marriage requires preparation, sacrifice, and commitment to God's will. Pope Leo XIV reportedly said, "A marriage unprepared is a soul unready for God's grace." Look at Michael, who entered marriage without understanding its demands. He struggled until he and his wife attended a Catholic marriage retreat, learning to prioritize faith. If you're single, pray for discernment. If engaged, take a marriage prep course seriously. If married, renew your commitment through prayer and service. Treat marriage as a path to holiness, not just a lifestyle choice. Finally, many Catholics make the mistake of not fostering a community that supports marriage. The world's pressures can isolate couples, but God calls us to build communities rooted in faith. Hebrews 10:25 urges us, "Do not neglect to meet together, but encourage one another." A couple, James and Maria, felt alone in their struggles until they joined a parish couples group. Sharing faith with others strengthens their bond. Get involved in your parish, host a prayer group, or mentor younger couples. Surround yourself with people who uphold Catholic values. A strong community can shield your marriage from cultural lies and help you grow in holiness together. Let's wrap this up with a call to action, because knowing these mistakes is only half the battle. Living differently is what counts. The sanctity of marriage is under attack, and as Catholics, we're called to defend it with our lives. Start today by praying for your marriage or vocation, even if it's just one Our Father with intention. Go to confession to cleanse your soul, and approach the Eucharist with awe, knowing it's Christ's strength for your journey. Embrace the Church's teachings, even when they're tough, because they lead to true freedom. Call on Mary and the saints daily. Say the Rosary, or wear a scapular to stay close to them. Protect your marriage from spiritual attacks with sacramentals and prayer. Speak boldly about God's plan for marriage, whether at home or in public, and build a community that lifts up your faith, because no one fights alone. This isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about embracing your role as a witness to God's love. Pope Leo XIII's message is clear. Marriage is a divine gift, and we must guard it with courage. Think of the impact you can have. A single prayer, a kind word, a faithful choice can ripple through your family and beyond. Don't wait for the world to change. Start with your heart. If this video stirred your soul, hit that subscribe button for more ways to live your Catholic faith boldly. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and comment below. How will you defend marriage today? As Jesus promises, I am with you always, to the end of the age. Matthew 28:20. Let's stand firm in His truth. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.